Doctor Who Story by Story. The Happiness Patrol Review. Just the facts. The Happiness Patrol is a three-part story that was the second tale shown in the 25th anniversary season of Doctor Who, broadcast from the 2nd to 16th of November 1988. It starred Sylvester McCoy in his second season as the Seventh Doctor, accompanied by his companion Ace, played by Sophie Aldred in her first full season in the role. The story was written by new writer Graham Curry, and directed by Chris Clough, who had previously directed the season 23 story Terror of the Vervoids and the season 24 stories Delta and the Bannerman and Dragonfire. The serial was produced by John Nathan Turner in his 8th season in that capacity and script edited by Andrew Cartmel in his sophomore season. Incidental music was provided by Dominic Glynn, who had previously composed the incidental music for the season 23 stories The Mysterious Planet and The Ultimate Foe and the season 24 story Dragonfire, and who had also been responsible for the one-off rearrangement of the series theme in season 23, and who would go on to compose the music for Survival, the very last story of Classic Who, in season 26. Plot. The Doctor and Ace arrive on the colony world of Teru Alpha, which the Doctor has heard disturbing rumors about. It soon transpires that the planet's tyrannical ruler, Helen A., has outlawed sadness on pain of death, and the Doctor sets out to bring down this fascist government over the course of just one night. Guest cast. The guest cast for this story includes acclaimed British character actress Sheila Hancock as Helen A., Hancock having been in the industry for decades and appeared in the likes of The Rag Trade, Kavana QC, New Tricks, The Catherine Tate Show and films including Carry On Cleo and Three Men and a Little Lady. Playing her husband Joseph C. is Ronald Fraser, a comedic actor with many credits including films such as Let Him Have It, The Wild Geese and Scandal, and television shows such as The Invisible Man, The Avengers, The Rivals of Sherlock Holmes, The Sweeney and Taggart. Georgina Hale plays Daisy Kay, who has credits in everything from films such as Sweeney 2 and Cockneys vs. Zombies and television shows such as Budgie, Minder, The Bill and One Foot in the Grave. Rachel Bell, who plays Priscilla P., is perhaps best known as for her role as the sex-obsessed chairwoman of a support group for divorcees in the 80s British comedy series Dear John, complete with trademark catchphrase and delivery of Were There Any Sexual Problems. Leslie Dunlop, who plays Susan Q., previously appeared in the Peter Davis and Doctor Who story Frontiers in 1984, and is best known for TV series such as Emmerdale, May to December and Where the Heart Is. Harold Innocent, who plays Gilbert M., appeared in many films and TV series including Randall and Hopkirk Deceased, Minder and Terry Gilliam's Brazil. John Normington, who plays Trevor Sigma, previously appeared as the evil Morgus in the Fifth Doctor regeneration story The Caves of Androzani in 1984, and appeared in TV shows and movies such as Upstairs Downstairs, Rollerball, The 39 Steps and the Michael Caine miniseries Jack the Ripper. Trivia. The working title for The Happiness Patrol was The Crooked Smile. Director Chris Clough was keen to shoot the story in black and white and use crooked film noir-type camera angles, but this was ultimately vetoed by producer John Nathan Turner. Helen A. was intended as a thinly veiled caricature of then Prime Minister Margaret Thatcher, something the production team was initially intending to play down, only for actress Sheila Hancock to seize on the subtext and play the character as a full-on parody. This aspect of the story, which appeared to pass completely unnoticed in 1988, rather bizarrely caused a minor kerfuffle in the British media 24 years later in 2012. The Candyman's similarity to Bertie Bassett, a mascot of confectionery company Bassett's in the UK, led to the threat of a lawsuit which was averted by the BBC promising to never use the character again in the series. Ironically, the villain was much more humanoid in the script, only for the costume department to seize on the notion of a character made out of sweets and take it to the literal nth degree. The story was novelized by original author Graham Curry in 1990 and released on video in 1997 and on DVD in 2012 as part of an Ace box set alongside her debut story Dragonfire. The Region 1 DVD releases list the story as being serial number 153, counting the trial season as 4 stories and including the originally unfinished Tom Baker classic Sharda. The serial was also included with issue 119 on the Doctor Who DVD Files magazine in 2013, with an audiobook of the novelization released in 2009 narrated by actress Rula Lenska, who had actually appeared in the Fifth Doctor Resurrection of the Daleks in 1984. Reaction: The Happiness Patrol was a massively controversial story with Doctor Who fans when broadcast. Those fans who were already unhappy with the quirky style of many of the Seventh Doctor stories quickly seized on the story for particularly vehement attacks, while many other fans thought the exact opposite. Today much of the controversy has died down, particularly in the wake of an array of arguably infinitely sillier and more bizarre stories in the new series, except in some outlier sections of fandom, and the serial is generally more highly regarded. The Discontinuity Guide praised the story, as did Radio Times reviewer Patrick Mulcan, who called it a clever and funny satire. In 2011 the story was actually used by the Archbishop of Canterbury, Rowan Williams, in his Easter sermon on the subject of joy and happiness. What I think. As a notorious Seventh Doctor fanboy, it will come as no surprise to anyone that I am a big fan of the Happiness Patrol. I think this is a great story, a surreal dark fairy tale that belies its low budget with some strikingly imaginative designs, particularly the Candy Kitchen and the Candy Man himself, as well as Dominic Glynn's fabulously appropriate score, which really feels Danny Elfman in a Tim Burton movie-esque. The guest cast are great and Sylvester and Sophie are on their usual winning form. If I have any complaint, it's that the last episode does feel a little rushed, perhaps a casualty of the shorter 3-part format due to the shorter seasons of the show at this point, but unfortunate nonetheless. However, this isn't a massive flaw and certainly not a deal breaker, and I am glad to say I love this story. And you're happy I'm glad. I give the Happiness Patrol a strong A-.